Today is Friday, September the 12th. It's 3 p.m. No? Yes, 3 p.m. exactly. And this is the Village of Southampton Planning Commission. In terms of roll call, we have Jeannie Strulas, we have Christian Picot, we have Michael Anderson, and myself, Michel Brogard. Jacob Yahinian couldn't make it today. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Then we have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 15th Planning Commission meeting. I make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Anybody opposes? Nobody? It's approved. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is an update on the public safety wireless tower. We have had, as you know, a series of public meetings with the ARB, the Planning Board, and the ZBA. Each time we make progress, we listen carefully to the suggestions and the suggestions from the public, and slowly we're making progress. We're not there yet, but so far so good, and we should have another meeting next week with the Planning Board to move the process of approval forward. If it's approved, we will then move to a building permit from the building department, and then there'll be a few months of engineering work and mobilizing, and then hopefully construction sometimes during the winter, and then negotiation with the three carriers, installation of the Motorola equipment for the first responders, and hopefully something that works before next summer. Any questions on the subject? Jeannie, Christian, Michael?
The planning board meeting is Monday, isn't it?
Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. Okay. Next subject is Southampton Village Partnership, an update from Jeannie.
Yeah, so we had our meeting yesterday, finally, and we have a new committee member, and we're looking for a couple of more people. Not necessarily looking, but there have been people that have expressed an interest. The next step is Rob Coburn, who joined, is going to reach out to the cultural organizations and see if we can leverage either some of their staff or try to, bring everyone together for the common purpose of creating a repository website. But, again, funding is what has been the gating factor and continues to be. One idea was to go to the PGA and ask them for sponsorship money, at least the first year. So Roy said he was going to try to do that. And then we have, the game plan that we, the model that we put together 6 months ago is still there in terms of doing events and trying to raise money throughout the year. But I think a quick, low-hanging fruit would be this website, which is where we started, and it kind of devolved. So that's really, it's a slow process and it's frustrating, but hopefully we get to, the finish line sometime soon.
Okay. As you know, I did a website. I forget what the what is it? SHV now.
SVP now.
Or SVP now. So it's for now. I own it. I'll turn it over to the village if you want it. It's good for 12 months. So I did this maybe 3 months ago.
Yep.
So you guys will need to decide within the next 7 months whether you want that skeleton or not.
Yeah, the skeleton, I mean, look, one of the questions that came out is, have we done a RFP for, what it would cost? And I've, worked with agencies before, and, I just put a feeler out recently, and they said, 25,000. And, it's the functionality, because what we really want is if each of, you have the library calendar, which is great. Every organization has their own, so we'd have to get feeds. I mean, a lot of it is just the functionality, but the tactical side, putting aside the tactical, the real issue is trying to get the Chamber of Commerce, for instance, I just got something from the Sag Harbor Chamber of Commerce, an email. It lists all the events coming up. It's exactly what the chamber typically does, and that's where we kind of, are either going to have to create something separate or figure out if there's synergies with some of the other organizations that,
And our chapter doesn't do it?
Yeah.
And you're in touch with them? You speak with them?
And Bessim actually didn't come yesterday, but he's on this committee.
They're not engaging?
It's completely, they don't really cater to the village, I guess is the most diplomatic way to put it.
Got it. Okay.
I remember, it's, they serve the town. They sit in a village building.
We brought that up too,
And yeah, that's all one could say for now. But there is a disconnect.
Right. Okay. Okay, Jeannie, well, thank you for all the efforts, and thank you for your patience and organizing these regular meetings and at least getting the people together. And so it looks like finding $10,000 is the next subject,
well,
right?
more
So
than that, but yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the water tank project at North McGee. Jacob is pushing forward, but he's unable to participate today. So maybe, Christian, you want to give us a brief
So in
update?
Jake's absence, I'll just fill in where we are. Suffolk County Water Authority has been very keen on this project. They've worked with us on this. So one big hurdle was to make sure that we had the proper boundaries on the North McGee side, well marked and a survey. So that's been done. We have it all, and it's in good standing. We then have some rendering of what the project would look like. That's been done. There was an issue to make sure that there was a path to the east of the site, which the mayor wanted, so they redrew we did the drawing, so that's all good. Where we are now is as follows. They need to go to the town of Southampton and get permission to drill underground pipes that would connect the wells that are to the west of the North McGee site, Suffolk County Water Authority wells, to connect to the reservoir on the site owned by the village. But before we do this, they've asked us to have a look at the right-of-way agreement between the village and the town, because in order to get to the village site, you have to go through town property from where the street is in North McGee, where there's a gate. You drive through a path, if you will, or a dirt road to get to what's colloquially known as the pistol range. Now, of course, the village has no trace of this easement agreement, given how they keep records in Village Hall. And so we have to go to the town to see if they have such a copy. It's not even clear that there was ever drawn a easement agreement between the town and the village, and if we don't have one, some legal side's gonna have to draw one. Once that's done, it was kind of a new hurdle, then SCWA can go back to getting approval from the town to be able to do these underground boring of piping between the wells to the reservoir. So that's where we're kind of, I wouldn't say stuck, but there's extra work that's taking a little bit of time that we hadn't anticipated that the village would not have at hand in their records easement access documentation. But that's where we are.
Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Any questions from other members? No question. In that case, we jump to the next item, which is the Southampton Village BESS legislation project. Christian?
All right, so on the battery energy storage system, the idea is to look at various codes in different municipalities, including the revised code of the Southampton Township, which was done earlier this year, very different than the early copy they had. We met, Michelle and I met with Alex Wellick, village planner, to look at the various, in light industrial zone, possible site where some promoter could do a BESS. Now, generally BESS that are upsized, let's say 1 megawatt or more, would have to be on more than an acre, and none of these parcels in and around Marina Drive, or what we call the light industrial zone of the village on the north side, are much more than an acre. So, from what we saw and understood, the simple way is to really do a lot of the lift and copy and paste from what is actually, after months of work, a pretty good code in the town, and adapt it for the village. What we would need to play around with are the setbacks in the permitting process in order to effectively not have much of anything beyond what the town code calls a Tier 1 BESS, which is 600 megawatt. Tier 2 is up to 5 megawatt, 600 kilowatt, up to 600 megawatt. 5 megawatt is the maximum now in the township. If you remember the project that was in Hampton Bays that created a lot of resident contention and pushback and never saw the light of day, was a 100 megawatt project. So with a new town code, no project of that nature would ever come back, since the limit now is 5. So for the village, we have to sort of make those decisions. Probably makes most sense to have it very much like the town, but just make sure that we've got the right setbacks and some of the numbers that would apply for the village in order for this to be done. But again, honestly, when you look at the land map and all the survey in the light industrial zone of the village, I can't see anyone coming and doing a BESS. It just isn't room, and I don't think anybody would have interest. Furthermore, land is pretty expensive in and around there. So, we'll do the project. I'm not sure it's a top priority in terms of things to do, but we'll try to get this done before the end of the winter. But if anyone from the community wants to join the task force, we have one member who's joined to work with me, Rome Arnold, village planner Alex Wellick, and myself are the sort of 1, 2, 3 people working on it. But if anybody wants to take interest in how we're approaching this, we would welcome anyone to approach us at the Planning Commission to be part of that committee. That's all I have at this point.
Great, thank you, Christian. Any questions from the other members? Nothing? Okay. So the next item on the agenda is a discussion on workforce housing. Rob Coburn was supposed to attend, but he's not here, so we're going to skip it and reschedule for the next time. You remember that we had Jay Deasing make a presentation at the Planning Commission last month, so we'll just adjourn this one to the next Planning Committee meeting.
Can I make a suggestion? If we're going to do this in October, could we ask Kara back to come with Rob?
Good idea. We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll invite her.
I think that'd be great.
Good.
Who was that?
She's the head of the CHF, the Community Housing Fund. And they've done some deals already, and they have money. I got 2 different numbers. I got a 15 million and I got a 30 million, depending on whom you ask. So it'll be good to have her. Okay.
She's spoken with the Planning Commission before. She's very helpful and articulate, and it'd be good to have her back.
Pun intended.
Yes, okay, thank you. The answer is no, it wasn't.
It worked.
But it worked.
Michael, anything
sir.
on your side?
Sure, I can talk about a couple of things. Hunting season, for one, actually hasn't started in the village because the board and the mayor would like for us to start later in the year where there's less population here in the village, so we generally start November 1st. I have been in touch with Suffolk County Deer Management just this past week to interface with him about starting up the program again. We plan on meeting again within a week or two. Hopefully the deer are back. I have seen them myself in my neighborhood, not to the degree that they were, but they did have their little ones this past, I guess, spring.
And it's sometimes not one, but two now.
Exactly, and
I almost ran over one today.
yeah, car accidents is still. I saw somebody post something online. I think a village employee actually it was, and he's hit two deer. The deer hit him. Let's put it that way. And 2 consecutive times. He said the damage to his truck. He fixed it. Then he got hit again by another deer. Just complaining about, the issues and the problems. We
Could
brought up
it be a
going-
public safety issue?
Yeah. We do need to get to the town, although the town really doesn't want to hear about it. They have a program that they instituted years back in the 90s, I believe it was, and they drew up this huge program, but they said to me nothing was ever really done. No follow-up was done. So if Gina, you and I could get and talk with somebody,
Okay,
Janet Shearer to start with.
okay, yeah, let me know.
I do need to speak to her.
It's amazing. I was driving late last night on Highway 27 coming here.
Right.
I think I must have seen at least
Yeah.
100 just grazing on the side of the road where everybody's barreling 70 miles an hour. Unbelievable.
I know.
100 of them, minimum.
The tree committee, we've been making some pretty good progress of late. I think it's helped tremendously that we have Len Sinati as a board member now on the committee. So he's sort of steering us in the right direction. We have 2 things going on now. The big problem with the Christmas tree lights on the trees have not come down in years. We don't know if the village put them up. We don't know if the store owners have put them up. But the tree committee did make a presentation to the board about it's an issue, it's a problem, and the lights need to come off the trees. And I have the stats somewhere, but I think 60% of the trees that have lights on them are dead. So they're just gonna have to come down. And a plan is gonna have to be put in place by the mayor and the trustees as to how we're gonna move forward with this so it doesn't happen again. The second part is this Village of Southampton Tree Management Plan. We discuss this every month. We're making headway with it. We know that there's a big labor shortage as far as manpower requirements in the village. There are 2 or 3 people designated to do tree work, but when an emergency comes up or a priority comes up, those people are pulled from doing tree work to go to that priority. So I was told that about 40% of the time, people are not working on trees during the week. So I came up with a suggestion that, well, if that is such a big problem, and we are planting 200 trees a year because the board and the mayor wants the trees, then this has to be a priority for the board, not only to manage this and dedicate either more employees or to go out and to possibly find a contractor to do some of the work. So, but we're making progress with that. That's also a monthly detail that we're going through. But I'm pushing on that, and I'm not letting that die. People might want me to let it go, but I'm not letting it go. So that's it.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Any comments from the public? No? Any other discussion? No? Then I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting and that we meet again on Friday, October the 17th at the same time at 3 p.m. Do I have a second? Yes?
Second.
All in favor?
Approved?
Yes.
Okay, end of the meeting. Thank you, and thank you, Sage. Thank you, Jolie.